the US-Iran-Israel war has reached its 7th day. How long will this war continue? What will be the end result? Who will win? Who will lose? Will there be a regime change or not? What will be the kind of regime that follows? What are going to be the long-term consequences of this war? Let us give a brief look on some of these factors. As a military analyst, it is my endeavor to be as objective as possible. I will try and do away with value judgments of who's right and who's wrong. We'll go by military facts as they are on the ground and not as propaganda claims make them out to be. So, how long will this war last? What is the determining equation, determining factor? The prime determining factor of the length of this war, likely length of this war, is the missile mathematical equation. Missile mathematical equation. What is this equation? How many interceptor missiles has Israel and the United States got in the region? Not in Japan, not in South Korea, in the region, right? And how long will these talks last? How many attack missiles has Iran got? How many has it fired so far? How many are left? The critical equation hinges upon this missile mathematical equation. So, even there, the problem is accuracy of your data. Your prediction can be only as accurate as the database that you are working on. Accuracy, reliability of the database that you are working on. Quite obviously, these are all in the classified domain, but American military experts like Colonel McGregor, like Scott Ritter, like Larry of the CIA, I have a lot of respect. They are very objective analysts. So, they are all saying that America is short. The production rate of Patriots is 650 missiles a year. One figure of the THAADs was 200, but Larry Thomas was also talking of 12 missiles, THAAD missiles a year. America's surge capacity in these is limited, and let's not forget that China has blocked rare earth export to the United States, which is a critical element for the guidance of these missiles. Without the guidance element, they are of no use to man or beast. Now, this is a limited stock. Iran has been firing at a much higher rate than it had in the 2025 war. It is supposed to have an arsenal by normal estimates. The more popular estimates are 3,000. There are estimates that go up to 5,000 also. It is producing them in-house in underground factories. Its drones figures vary from 30 to 80,000. They are all being produced. The Shahid drones are being used by the Russians. They are so good. The Shahid drones have been copied by the Americans, and they have called them low cost unmanned aerial vehicle LUCAS, which they are using against Iran, right? So, those drones are that damn good. The accuracy of the Iranian missiles is a quantum jump from what we saw in 2025 and earlier. Previously, they were largely based on the American GPS, which the Americans could switch off, spoof. Now they are based on the Chinese Bidiao GPS, and they are very stunningly accurate. The accuracy levels have gone many-fold over last time. So, the simple point at issue is these missiles are more accurate, Iranian strategy was, we'll fire off the subsonic, supersonics first, make the Israelis, Americans exhaust their interceptor missile stocks, bring about an exhaustion of the missile stocks, interceptor missile stocks, and then start using the hypersonics. Hypersonics are the Fateh 2s, hypersonic are Khurram Shahar 4. Khurram Shahar 4, Mach 16 speed, 1 ton warhead, sir. 1 ton warhead. They are lethal. And we have seen the impact in Tel Aviv on the Israeli war headquarters. We have seen an earlier impact in one of the bunkers in Tel Aviv where 8 people were killed on the spot and many more were injured. Right? The American Central Command has so far admitted to 6 killed, 18 wounded. That was on day 2. 6 killed, 18 wounded was on day 2. 3 F-15s down. There is, I believe, a 4th down, and about 4 or 5 of the predators are down. Predators and drones. Please don't forget that no American or Israeli aircraft are really going over Iran, right? They are attacking from standoff ranges, which they should, which is sensible military strategy from Iraq and Kuwait, right? That is from where they are firing standoff missiles into Iran. The only things going over Iranian airspace are the Predators and the Shahid equivalent drones, American copies, right? And they are getting shot down. They are getting shot down. The Russians have given manpad missiles, which are the Verba shoulder fired missiles. They have given 500 launchers, 2,500 such missiles. These have filters which can, they'll not get distracted by the flares that you fire. Standard NATO American practice that when you are flying and you are attacked by missiles, you fire flares to shake off the infrared seeker heads. These cannot be done, and they are the ones, I believe, which are causing the damage. That's my estimate, because the Chinese missiles, unfortunately for Iran, have not worked too well. They did not work well for Pakistan also, HQ9, 16, 21. They didn't work too well. The Chinese had said that given 3D radar, it hasn't stopped any of the multiple attacks that are taking place over Iran. But the shoulder fired missiles of the Russians are, I think, a different story. The Chinese may give a battle winning factor more or less to Iran. Their anti-ship missile C-302s, supersonics. There was even talk that they could give them their Dongfeng 21D, but that may be a bit too much, right? But definitely they are giving their anti-ship cruise missiles. And those talks were on, and etc. How many of them are there in their inventory? We don't know. There were massive Chinese heavy lift transport aircraft flights in and out of China to Iran. So those are the parameters. Now there is something called pattern modeling. I am trying to explain the technique that we are trying to adopt. Pattern modeling. How long did the war last year? In June 2025, 12 days. By that time, Israeli interceptor missile stocks were dangerously depleted, and they had stopped intercepting any target, any missile that they felt was not hitting a crucial target. Media reports indicated that Israel, because of its very small size, that is the greatest strategic disadvantage of our Israeli friends. The size of the country is so small, 450 north to south, narrowest point 15 kilometers. So the damage that can get inflicted in a narrow space, tends to be prohibitive. And $50 billion worth of damage they had suffered in June 25. This year, the rate of fire of interceptor missiles, it is being fired, these interceptor missiles are being fired in 9 Gulf countries, in in Cyprus, in Kuwait, etc., all over. The rate of expenditure of these missiles is far higher. Like I said, I have given you the production capacities of the American, 650 Patriots, 200 Thards, some people say just 12 Thards a year. So, that's not a very comfortable level of complacency. These missile stocks should be, next 2-3 days, should be nearing danger depletion point, what is called pain threshold. Will it stop at the pain threshold? Is a function of two factors. Is a function of two factors. What is your will to fight is the first one. Your stamina is number 2. Your national morale is number 3. Will to fight is the highest in Iran, Israel. It's pretty low in United States. Don't forget that in a pre-war poll, 80% Americans declared themselves against the war against Iran. 80% Americans. I don't think those figures are changed, and if body bags start coming in greater frequency, you will see that thing plummeting. We've seen it happen before. There are enough pattern prediction models, Vietnam War, Iraq, Afghanistan. We've seen that happen before. The American public does not like body bags. They do not like protracted wars. Donald Trump had promised them no more forever wars. That's exactly what he is giving them. 4 to 5 weeks is what he is saying. Larijani, Secretary, National Security Council of Iran, said this could go up. The Americans are prepared to fight for weeks. We are prepared to fight for months. We are prepared to fight for months. This is very phenomenal underestimate of Iranian capabilities. Far too much of arrogance. I am happy to see that Donald Trump at last has remembered God. All combat soldiers pray to God before they start a war, and they pray every day, every minute that the going gets tough. Right, sir? So, therefore, it is now day 10, day 9, day 10. I see the pain point coming based upon pattern modeling of previous conflicts in the Middle East. Right? And once the pain point is reached, how long will people persist beyond that pain point is a function of your national will and morale. National will, tenacity to fight and morale, which is pretty high as far as we can see with the Iranians. They have, by killing Ayatollah Khamenei, you have killed the Pope of the Shias. They are pretty mad. It has united the nation, not broken it up. Unless you put boots on the ground, you can't change the outcome. Americans are going to put boots on the ground. That is, don't make us laugh. Don't make us laugh. The boots on the ground that you will see are the Kurdish people. They'll send them to fight. There are about 750 kilometers from the Kurdish border to Tehran. They will put the Baluchis, for which the Pakistanis are sending the weapons, etc., and giving their airspace for strikes. So, that is about 1200 kilometers from there to Tehran. Okay. I don't see, they can at well take away portions of the border provinces, that they will change the regime in Iran. Give us a break. Give us a break. Right? The logic, military logic does not gel. Right? Will the Americans put boots on the ground? Well, if Donald Trump is going to be erratic enough to put boots on the ground, he is asking for serious political trouble in the United States. I know he doesn't care a fig for global opinion, especially the opinion of the third world, which he started treating like a colony already. I can kick anybody I want, anytime I want, anywhere I want. I am the president of Venezuela. I am the president of Iran. I will decide who will be the next Ayatollah. And whoever is the Ayatollah comes, I will kill him. Iran has found a simple antidote to that particular technological advancement that Israel and America have done, going for the top leadership with that life pattern modeling software, AI software, which they have used against the Hezbollah, against Iran, against Venezuela, and now once again against Iran. But the answer is very simple, sir. Decentralized command. 31 Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps districts, all are given the orders, you have fire at will. You have been told what targets to engage, fire at will, don't look for orders from Iran, from Tehran. You are all watching the Tehran TV. That is why the Americans and Israelis have hit the Tehran television. But there are transistor radios, how much will you hit, from where will you hit? I don't think you can stop that communication entirely. And even if you stop, then it is worse compounded. Now there is no control over, there is nobody to negotiate with, nobody to discuss a ceasefire with. You forget about regime change, nobody to discuss a ceasefire with. So what we are watching is extremely dangerous. To my mind, pain point 9 to 10 days, 2 days away. How far beyond the pain point, how many weeks, 4 to 5 weeks, Donald Trump's analysis, many months, Larejani's analysis or his prediction model, right? How far will the Israelis be able to take? They are a fighting people. I have the highest respect for the Israelis as soldiers. Highest respect, personally. I have learnt a lot from General J.F.R. Jacob, a Baghdadi Jew and one of our master generals. I had the privilege and good fortune to learn from him personally, especially after retirement. We spent hours and hours together. I salute that man today, but he told me that you have to be objective in war. You cannot let subjective emotions, decide your action plans and your operational plans. Objectivity is the prime requirement for a successful campaign. Now, Iran is inflicting economic pain upon the Middle East, upon the world. It is inflicting economic pain on us. India, 50% of oil comes from the Gulf, 60% of natural gas comes from the Gulf. Oil prices go up, the whole world suffers. I have already given those figures earlier. In conclusion, I would like to say one thing. The gods of war, I am deeply religious, the gods of war do not like arrogance. The Holy Bible says, pride goeth before a fall. Right? Humility serves soldiers, combat soldiers very well. Right? The simple fact is, let me quote with an axiom from the Vietnam War. A guerrilla army wins if it does not lose. A regular army loses if it does not win. If it does not win. That is the key thing to watch for in this conflict. Iran is fighting a battle for survival. It has very little more left to lose. I don't see a regime change happening. I do not see a regime change happening. Donald Trump can keep saying, I'll appoint the next Ayatollah. He hasn't joined the Iranian Religious Council as yet. Those people are tenacious. The Shias have a civilizational tradition of fighting losing wars to the bitter end. Let's go by these historical patterns and models before we rush into war. It is easy to start wars, it is very difficult to end them, and when you cannot end wars, you don't start a war with a proper campaign strategy, exit strategy, and you do it in an election, midterm election year. The political consequences can be very steep. Jai Bharat, Jai Hind.